What is going on YouTube? Chrono here and welcome back to another PSO2 video. So you guys probably have recognized that we are back on the Visiphone website. Something cool kind of popped up. Just so you guys are aware, new weapon potential's out. Means we know what the new stats are. So how does the event weapon stack up against our current weapons? That is the question we'll be answering today in today's video. But before we jump into that, guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Chrono. I primarily cover PSO2 content. Would much appreciate a subscribe as we work our way towards that 8K mark. We're going to make smaller gold jumps. Let's see if we can get that taken care of by the end of the month. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. So, like I said, the potential for the Tenebrous weapons are out. So let's take a look at the Tenebrous weapon series. I'm actually going to pull up another weapon series alongside of this really quick. Okay, so I wanted to talk about these potentials somewhat together because they're the same potential. I was gonna say basically the same potential, but they are the same potential. They're even named the same. So the Effulgent weapon series, the Effulgent Blade, honestly, I didn't really give the credit it was due. This weapon isn't bad per se. It is weaker on paper at a very baseline to the Kuklofis weapons we have access to, since we're comparing it essentially against a fixed 3 attack Kuklofis. Since that's something everyone can get a hold of, it's just a matter of time you will be able to get a hold of it, especially during this event. I likely in the event shop you're going to find a bunch of Infernium. Usually there's like 50 of it. You'll probably find Infernium in the event shop. Don't quote me on that, but it's likely going to be there, and you will likely be able to get a hold of your Kuklofis. The questions that come up is, should you bother getting a Kuklofis now that these weapons are available? I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of yes. However, these weapons do kind of favor a bit of a cheaper build, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. So a lot of the Effulgent weapons have been dropping for enemies around, and the big thing about the Effulgent series is, yes, it is specific to enemies that are weak to fire, but on top of that, its potential gives you crit rate, and that's a big deal. This is something you get for 30 seconds when you successfully dodge or negate an attack with a weapon action or a sidestep. They don't say that there's an internal cooldown on this, meaning that this is totally fine to go ahead and maintain this bonus, especially if you're doing something like, let's say, purple triggers, where you have a highly aggressive target on you guys almost the entire time. You'll be able to get tons of these available to you. The Tenebrous is the exact same thing. The Tenebrous series has Blitz unit, which does the exact same thing. Super, super awesome. Now, there are two big things with this Tenebrous series. Tenebrous does not look like it comes with Ice Exploit 2, meaning that it's not going to be, the new Ice Exploit 2 thing. They don't mention it here. It may be something that does drop with it. This is early information. We don't have the patch yet, so keep that in mind. However, it does come with the seasonal augment, the Sezun Winterfiv. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it reads that you get 5% potency increase and 20% crit rate plus 25% crit damage against seasonal enemies. This is going to be against 2022's Christmas, 2023's New Year, and 2023's winter seasonal enemies. We have all of this available to us. So the next 3 seasonal events, this is going to work, meaning we're not going to get rid of this off of our weapon like we did with previous seasonal weapons. This is going to be useful, right? So we saw this one. This was one for autumn. This was the last one. This was the one before that for moon gazing. That one we also got rid of because we weren't using it anymore, but this one's going to stick for the next 3 seasonal events. Now, it does suck that this doesn't have Ice Week 2 on it automatically. It may be something that's in like the event shop. We'll have to see. It's kind of crazy this is actually here for one main reason. Almost all of the enemies in the new region are weak to ice. All of the new purple trigger is weak to ice. And between the two, the enemy types we have to face, we're dealing mostly with ice and light. So this works against a large variety of the enemies. During the event, you're going to absolutely shred with this weapon. Now I'm going to pull up really quick the damage formula and damage calculator so you guys can see a little bit of how the Effulgent weapon works, and you can kind of get an idea of how that's going to affect the Tenebrous series weapon. Now, if you haven't seen this sheet, I've covered this multiple times. Cakewalk made a fantastic sheet you can use to actually compare damage and augments and everything you have set up for your own character, so you can take a look and see how this is actually going to affect you. So right now, what we've got is we have a Kuklofis weapon that is augmented, basically BIS, so Soul 4, Mastery 4, Ultra Credit 4, the new Addy, and then Gigas Tech 4. I'm augmented for Tech because I'm playing Bouncer. I talked about that in a previous video. Feel free to check that out. But this is the BIS augment. Just swap, of course, the type of damage you deal for the type of damage you need to deal. So you can see we've got a whopping 19.4% potency on each piece, at least the units, 14.8 on the weapon, and then 7.95% potency on the floor potency for every single one of these pieces of unit. or every single one of these pieces of gear. So we can take a look at the damage formula chart here. And what this does is basically takes the baseline here and you can see how much stronger or weaker something is comparatively whenever we're looking at the other weapons, right? So let's say, for example, we're looking at the effulgent weapon series, right? So effulgent weapon flame plus, meaning its potential is active and it's working. We're looking at the first time that we beat out our Fixa 3 attack weapon is a Fixa 4 Fatale. Keep in mind that this weapon has crit on it, meaning that if we were to, let's say, change up our build a bit, let's say you couldn't afford masteries, right? Let's say you were someone who had stat instead. So let's swap these out. I'm gonna just do this live really quick for technique, and I'm just gonna copy paste this in case someone who's using this, you didn't know you could do this. Go, let's swap these for technique. And if we go back, oh, now this is wavered a bit more in favor of these weapons. Let's also toss this on the weapon, right? Let's see if this is also going to make a change for the weapon. Oh, now this is wavered. This is weighted even more in favor of this weapon, right? So let's say you're someone who couldn't afford to get mastery and you went with stat instead, like one of my recommendations was. This weapon is even better for you. At Fixa 3, it's already a bonus. At Fixa 4, it's a massive bonus. It's a 2% bonus overall. Now, granted, it doesn't seem massive, but that's pretty big when you're looking at damage, when you're looking at damage calculations. This might not matter for some people. Honestly, you're not losing out by using your Fixa 3 attack weapon. This is totally fine. You're getting everything taken care of. No big deal whatsoever, right? However, if we're looking at uptime, right? So we're looking at the Tenebris maxed plus potential right now. Take a look at the Fatale situation. At 2, you're already more than your Clothis. At 3, you're absolutely crushing it. At 4 and 5, it's no contest. You're already pushing past your Clothis weapon. So this is definitely going to be something you want to get a hold of and you want to hold on to moving forward. Now, it's not always going to be the best choice, but it looks like we're going to start moving into situations where we're going to have multiple sets of weapons depending upon what we're fighting. While yes, your baseline is going to be fantastic, you get plenty accomplished, you may want to also hold on to an extra weapon. This is cool for people who haven't gotten their Clothis. You can get a weapon and delay getting your Clothis if you need to. Maybe you can save up a bit more, get a better Clothis overall. Say get your fixed attack 3 and maybe save up some more for the augments. And you can go ahead and jump into grabbing this Tenebris series weapon. But as always, during the event weapons are the best thing to use. That's always been the case because of that extra potential. This potential absolutely kills it for it, giving that extra 5%, getting your crit rate, getting that damage resistance is actually really, really nice when you're not used to fighting certain enemies. Funny enough, I just went through a Twitter post where Uber talked about having extra damage resistance is helpful when you're learning to fight new enemies in a region, which is why he hadn't upgraded. So it's super, super cool. Hopefully you guys didn't hear all that noise. Sorry about that, but it's super helpful, meaning that you're not really missing out. You can totally use this to your advantage, right? You're able to go ahead and fight tons of different enemy types. And keep in mind, you're not always fighting dolls. Some of these enemies are not dolls specifically, right? You have altars, you have I can't remember anything but altars right now, but you guys know what I'm talking about. There's different types of enemies outside of dolls that you do fight, and in situations like that, the 10% series weapon is going to be useful. So I would argue this is probably one of the strongest weapons we've gotten for an event. Now, does it have the same staying power as our previous event weapon? I'm actually going to pull that one up here really quick. Now, the Christia Blade did have the added benefit of giving us PP back whenever we killed enemies, so that does have some staying power with it. Granted, this augment no longer works anymore, but that did give that weapon some staying power, which was really, really nice. So it doesn't really have staying power there, but I really feel like this new, Tenebris series weapon is going to be the play during the event. Probably also going to be the play for during purples. It's going to make purples very much more accessible, I'd imagine. People are probably going to start clearing those solos, so keep an eye out for those. I'll probably, give those a shot as well with an ice weak weapon. It's probably gonna be really, really nice. But keep an eye out for those high fixes. Probably Fatale is mostly what you're looking for. Definitely going to be something that's gonna make you some money on the side. Well, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. This was kind of quick. I wanted to just throw this together really fast because I'm still in the middle of my day. It's gonna be 2 videos out today, actually, funny enough, and then we're gonna have the update video tomorrow. I didn't want to delay this for you guys. Get out to you as soon as possible. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. If you just do me a favor, like the video, it does help out a lot. It does let me know what's going on, let you get engagement in from you guys to make sure that you guys are enjoying these types of videos, as well as, of course, subscribing to keep up with content as we move forward. I'm really trying to push for 10K, hopefully sooner rather than later. We got to make sure that we're making these pushes in a reasonable manner, right? Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it off here. If you have any other questions, feel free to toss in the comments below. I'm going to do a proper exact comparison between these two weapons once they release, once we know all the nitty gritty of exactly what we're gonna have on it, how we can augment it, how useful it's gonna be, and how the event enemies are going to work. So keep an eye out on that. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace out.